The film starts by showing an actor who is practicing his dialogues. In the movie, he is a priest and he has to exorcise a girl. There were some holy verses in the script that he was reading. And while reading, we see that suddenly the lights of this set started flickering. The room in which he was standing, that room started shaking fast. And suddenly, something invisible attacked the actor and killed him. The scene cuts here and we are shown Lee and Anthony. Anthony is a dangerous substance addict. Because of this, his and his daughter's relationship is very bad. His daughter didn't even call him dad. And all this is since Anthony's wife died. Before his wife's accident, Anthony used to be an actor. But after that accident, he got addicted to dangerous substances and left all his work. Now, after living in a rehabilitation center for about 2 years, Anthony had become quite stable. That's why he started getting roles in movies again. And now he was given the role of the actor who we have seen dying in the movie. After getting this role, Anthony was very happy. He goes to the church and confesses. He had made a lot of mistakes in his life. After his wife's death, he ruined his family. He got addicted and got away from his daughter. But now, he wanted to fix everything. He wanted to work in a bank and come close to his daughter. And at the same time, he wanted to give peace to his wife's soul. Anthony now comes home, where he and Lee talk about work. Lee also didn't have a job. That's why she became Anthony's personal assistant. But now the shooting starts. Lee used to come to the shooting with her dad, where she also got the lead character of the movie, Blake, with whom she became good friends. Blake shows her this whole set, and when these people passed by a place where 2 robots were lying, as soon as he saw Lee, a robot started sparking in a strange way. Anyway, the shooting starts now, and Anthony talks to the priest on the shooting set about his character. When these people were talking about some verses of the Bible, we noticed that Anthony's nose started bleeding. But Anthony ignored this, thinking that this could be a side effect of his medicines. The scene of the funeral is covered very well. After that, Lee and Anthony come to their home, in the middle of the night when Lee was using her phone. Then she heard a strange sound from her lounge. When she went to check, the door of the other room was locked. Then someone turned on the kitchen tap. As soon as she went to the kitchen and closed the tap, then she heard the sound of the lock opening. The door was now open, which was locked before, and there was no one inside. She was about to ignore all these things and go to her room, but then she saw Anthony, her dad, standing in the corridor. Lee went to him. He was mumbling something. Lee grabs him and tickles him, because of which Anthony gets scared for a moment. But then he thought that maybe he was sleeping. The next day, when Anthony goes for the shooting, and is practicing the dialogues, then he was not able to do all this well. The director was also angry now. The director tells him, "You remember every bad thing that is going to happen in your life. Maybe then you will be able to give your sad expression well." And here we are, shown a flashback of his childhood, when he used to live in convent. And the father used to abuse the children there. Anyway, Anthony starts practicing his dialogues again. This time, as soon as he opened these dialogues papers, there was something written inside. There were demon drawings inside, and it was written, "Anthony, no one can save you from me in this matter." He opens his drawer with the dialogues papers to take something. He sees a crucifix in the drawer. As soon as he shows the crucifix, suddenly in the flashback, his childhood life is also shown, where he used to have the same crucifix earlier. Now, in a while, Lee comes here and asks him, "Are you having any problem? Why are you not able to deliver the dialogues?" Then Anthony says, "That I am not able to deliver the holy words of the Bible as a dialogue." In response, he says, "This is because your belief in God is a little less. You believe in God and on yourself, then this work will seem easy to you." After hearing this, he gets up. As soon as he got up, he started feeling dizzy. He says to Lee, "I should go to my room and rest." When Lee said yes, he left from here, but not in his room, but in the basement. Lee also found this strange. Lee followed him. Some sounds were coming from the bathroom of the basement. Quietly, Lee is recording all this, and suddenly, his phone falls. As soon as he picks it up, now his dad was in front of him, while bathing. He also urinates in front of him. Lee gets scared of all this, because now Anthony's eyes were also completely white, as if someone had possessed him. And he was even looking at Lee through the nostrils. He quickly goes up from there, and despite going up, he kept looking at Lee with such strange nostrils. Going up, as soon as Lee came to his senses, he now goes to his washroom and takes a shower. And Lee, he keeps screaming behind him, "You have changed the medicines. This is his side effect. You should go to the doctor soon." This time, Anthony. He was ignoring his words while we were looking at Lee's body, which was also a confirmation that he is in possession of some evil thing. Some evil force has taken him in its grip. This mark, as if it came to his body for a few seconds, and then left. On the movie set, director, producer, and any co-actor, Anthony did not like his acting. That's why. He gets upset and drains again. While here, Father Lee asks Lee, "Is what is happening in this movie? Do you believe in it?" Lee replies. It was not before, but what I have seen tonight. After that, I am starting to believe something. After that, Lee comes home. He sees that Anthony had come home before him. His hands were badly injured. Blood was flowing from his body, and his face was almost the same. At that time, Lee says to him, "You started the dangerous substance again. You went back to the life I hated. That's why I won't stay with you anymore." After hearing this, he went crazy with anger. He shouted so loudly, all the glass things in the room broke. And then, he came in front of his daughter's case. He says to Lee, "Where will you go? You have no school, no mother. You will stay with me in Bakum, Miss Ulgut." Lee gets very scared and says in anger, "Anthony, stay away from me." In response to this, he says, "I am not Anthony." Lee was very scared. The next day, she goes to the shooting set and meets her father and tells her father all the situation of Anthony. Anthony, now in the night, in the washroom, he used to say something, which he had recorded. When father hears this, he also gets scared, because this matter was very big. In this recording, Anthony himself was calling Demon Moloch, and this was a very dangerous thing. Father tells Lee, "You go to your house before I do anything. Demon Moloch, and I want to do more research on Anthony." It is shown in the night when father was researching on Demon Moloch, then Anthony was suffering very much. And here, father's kid was also feeling a strange energy. Here, a flashback of Anthony's life is shown, where he was a kid. He went to father's room, and father abused him. Now it was time for the shooting. Anthony tries to say his dialogues, but there was not much fun in his acting. Everyone beats him up. And with this, Anthony gets angry. He throws the crucifix in his hand and gets down from the stairs. While hitting his hand, his eyes were completely white, as if something possessed him as soon as he got down from the stairs. Strangely, his body started to turn. His back turned in the opposite direction, and this was not just once, but happened many times. After which, when Lee tries to stop him, saying, "Anthony, stop." So he, again, answers the same. Anthony didn't die. After which, he again started to hit his head on the table. After seeing all this, director replaces Anthony with some other actor. And when that actor was rehearsing his dialogues, then Anthony put a glass in his eyes and killed him. Because of this, the shooting of this movie was stopped, because of which the main character was also very upset. She was upset, so Lee brought her home, where Anthony again attacked both of them, because both of them got upset and told her to leave. After hearing this, Anthony jumped out of the window. But the surprising thing was, he didn't fall out of the window, but disappeared somewhere. Director, both of them, go to the father and tell him all this. In response, the father tells them that your dad is possessed by the demon Moloch, and now he will be found where the possession started, that is, on the set of the shooting. Now Lee, when she came to the movie set, she saw a Bible lying in front of her. As soon as she goes inside the room to pick it up, suddenly, behind her, Anthony comes and stands. Afraid, she starts reading the Bible verse, and Anthony, that is, that demon, now along with him, read the same verse. As soon as the verse doesn't affect him at all, the demon tells him that I have been listening to this for centuries, and now it doesn't work on me. Now Lee tells the demon, "Please, leave Anthony. He is dying." In response, the demon says, "He has been dying for years." As soon as he says this, the demon attacks Lee. But Lee had a crucifix in his hand at this time, which he puts on the head of the demon, and the demon leaves him. Because of putting it on his head, the demon's powers was a little low in such a situation, where the father in black, demon had paralyzed. He also leaves his position. Now the father tells the demon, "You leave Anthony's body and come inside me." Because the father himself was not able to exorcise Anthony, the demon also, listening to him, leaves Anthony and comes inside the father. From here, the movie goes into flashback, and we are shown this reason, that why, that demon had only caught Anthony. Actually, Anthony, in his childhood, when he used to live in the convent, then the father used to abuse him, and after abusing, he used to make a crucifix on his head. That is, there. God was not wanted. There. The demon was worshipped. The demon was worshipped. This trauma was in Anthony's mind since childhood, and this became his weakness, because of which the demon possessed him. The scenes again shift to the present, where now, in the father's body, he is a demon to save the father. Anthony picks up the holy crucifix here and starts reading the Bible verse. Now his verse was showing an effect on the demon because he was out of his childhood trauma and keeping faith in God. He was reading this verse, and like this, that demon becomes weak. and leaves the father. In the last scene of the story, we are shown Anthony and Lee, who were living their normal lives. Anthony used to go to church every day, while Lee was writing the rest of the story with him. And on top of that, she wanted to make a film by showing it. The movie story ends here.